Good evening. You are listening to Preview Call with Dr. Tanya Lowe, your Chief Riot Starter, and Priscilla Nunn, the Queen of Creativity and Innovation. We're so excited to have Priscilla on the line tonight. Priscilla will be one of our featured speakers at the Riot Starter Symposium, February 5th, 2016, at the fourth annual symposium in Atlanta at the Commerce Club. Priscilla, welcome to the call tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Tanya.
So Priscilla is all about playing in the sandbox, guys. With more than 25 years of human resources and organizational development leadership experience in a variety of settings, she currently leads Cox Consulting Group. Priscilla has earned her crown as the Queen of Innovation and Creativity, as she helps clients get the results that they're looking for to implement the most effective solutions. So Priscilla, fill in the gaps for us a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about who Priscilla Nunn is and what you've been up to and what you're up to.
Okay. Dr. Tanya, I want to share with the group how I actually met you.
Okay.
And which was sort of funny. We were on a mission trip, and I was creating a revolution.
Yes.
I think some of the folks on the mission trip was pretty afraid because we were in Haiti, and I was telling my students, let's create a revolution. But in doing that, what I was really saying to them, let's go above your circumstances and be creative about how you can change it. And that's what I'm really about. I was born in Brooklyn, but I'm a North Carolinian, so I went to UNC, and if you guys know anything about North Carolina, basketball is what we're about. Went to get my MBA and did something really different. I got a master's in biblical studies from a seminary. So already you can see I'm a little untraditional. And as Dr. Tanya said, I've been in corporate America for over 20 years. And also I founded a nonprofit called Access, and this nonprofit to me is an opportunity for me to get to play in the sandbox. And one other thing that really has helped me out a lot is I grew up in a fun family. And so we made our own fun out of nothing. Mm-hmm. And so that's something that I have taken with me everywhere I've gone. How we've created fun out of nothing. Example, making trains out of kitchen chairs and making stops. So wow. I've always had fun.
Wow. Well, we are so excited about having you on the faculty for the 2016 symposium. And yes, we were in Haiti, you were starting a revolution, and I was starting a riot, and they just really didn't know what to do with us. But we were having a great time helping the people get to their next level, just like we're going to do in February. So, Priscilla, I'm not going to stand in the way between our listeners and this great information that you have tonight. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. And the first question that I want to ask you about is, what is the difference between creativity and innovation? I was reading, I think it was Entrepreneur Magazine, and they were saying that your financial strength is in your ability to be creative and innovative. So for our listeners, will you set the tone tonight and just kind of explain what's the difference between creativity and innovation?
Okay. Now, one thing that I don't know if the audience knows, and they'll get a chance to preview it, is I'm writing a book called Boss, Can I Play in the Sandbox? And it's focusing on creating physical and mental space for creativity and innovation. So when you think about creativity, it's really about thinking. It's about thinking up new things. It's about, open your mind to possibilities. And then innovation is actually doing new things. And so that's the difference between the two. And what the push is to get people to, and what my passion is get people to open themselves up so that they can do something. And you see a lot of that in corporate America. When I've worked with corporate clients, our focus is more on innovation versus creativity, which is a missing piece. with innovation, we focus so much on making process improvements, but not allowing people to do big new things. And so that's the difference between the two.
You know, this year's symposium, we're going to highlight, the theme is Entrepreneurs and Intrapreneurs, Discovering the Possibilities Together. And I believe that this topic is going to be very helpful to both entrepreneurs and people who are still in the workplace and working for people, because I think you get burned out because you're not able to use your creativity. You're not thinking beyond that place of where you've been, and so it burns you out. It burns you out. So I think this is an excellent topic, and that people need to go to theriotStarter.com and register right now to reserve your spot for the symposium, so that you can meet Priscilla live and in person. So, Priscilla, I've got 3 areas that I want to ask you about. Thanks for setting the tone. So, you know, we're having this conversation about creativity and innovation. So I want you to just kind of don't go too deep, but just to tell our listeners, how do you jumpstart creativity from where you are? You know, how do you help that person, or what would you suggest to that person who, I've been in my job 20 years, I'm just, you know, we've heard it, we've seen it, and they just don't feel like they have the capacity to be creative. How do you jumpstart creativity from where you are?
Dr. Tanya, it's interesting you talked about burnout, because I went through a phase of burnout, just exhausted with corporate America, just exhausted with everything that was going on in my life. So I hit major burnout, so hit the wall. And then one of my professors asked me the question. He said, Priscilla, what are your dreams? And I couldn't even think about it. I'm like, dreams? Do I have dreams? And what I had to do actually was to step back and go to friends and family to say, what did I like doing before? You know, what did I do that was fun? And then to think over, you know, just growing up, what was I doing was fun? What was all the fun that I had in my family? If I can just go back there, I'll open up, you know, my mind to be creative. And so as individuals out there thinking about how to jumpstart their creativity, and I think everyone has it deep within themselves, I say go back to what you did when you were a child. I'm not a psychologist and taking you back that way, but think about things that you did that was fun, things that made you smile, and even go play with your children. And I think that's a start to get you going.
I like that, Priscilla. Think about those things that you enjoyed doing as a child. I think that's a great place to start. You know, I'm real quick to grab my coloring book and just pull it out and just start coloring it. And I think when you're in that place of you're relaxed and you're calm, you know, just ideas come to you.
Ideas definitely come to you.
So to jumpstart that creativity, one of the points she has for you is to just kind of take some time and think back to where did you find your fun, and go back to when you were a child. What were those fun things you enjoyed doing? So the second point I want to ask you, you know, Priscilla, we live in a copycat world, you know, and the whole thing about creativity and innovation, I believe, is to be able to stand out and shine. You know, that's one of the things as I work with my clients is what makes you different. You know, if everybody's going to the right, we're going to go to the left. So for our listeners tonight, the folks on the line, what is something that you can tell them about how they can be unique in a copycat world?
Now, this is something that I do, just to look at uniqueness. I tend to look at people who've been there, look at people who have been successful in whatever they're doing, look at people who are older, and that right there for me creates it just creates a picture on how can I be different. Because at this point in their lives, they say, forget it, I'm going to be what I'm going to be. And so looking at that and figuring out how they got there I think that's going to make you unique. And then I read something that someone said is become what you pretended to be, or become what you pretend to be now, or what you pretended to be when you were young. And that's going to make you stand out.
Wow. Wow. So is it like the fake it till you make it concept?
You know what? I don't think it's the fake it till you make it.
Okay.
Because I think the fake it till you make it is you're not really being true to yourself.
Not
but I
being
think
authentic.
when you pretend, and when I'm thinking about pretending, I'm not thinking about pretending a success. I'm thinking about pretending and really going with yourself and saying, this is who I am, so this is how I'm going to act it out. Or this is what I wanted to be. This is what I dressed up in when I was growing up. And so this is what I pretended to be. So I'm not faking it till I make it because everybody else is faking it till they make it.
Right. Exactly.
And so to be different, become what you pretend to be in terms of, you may even have to look at your future and say, I'm planning on being that retired person and how I'm going to get there. Or as I grew up, one little game my niece and I used to do is we both wanted to be actresses. So we pretended that we were. And so we would have family members throw out skits, and then we would act them out.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us, that was fun. That made us laugh, but also it just opened up the whole creativity thinking within our minds. So we really had a good time doing it. So not fake it till you make it. Become what you pretend to be in terms of going back to your childhood, in terms of what the future is going to look like. Because I pretend I'm a millionaire. Hey.
And you'll carry yourself as such.
Thank you. And so I'm going to become what I pretend to be.
Exactly. So, Priscilla, I've got another question I want to throw in here at you. You know, we've talked about how to jumpstart creativity from where you are and how to be unique in a copycat world, just kind of really kind of practice what you really want to be. I think of that as holding your vision. And a lot of the work that we do in the master class is really getting people to visualize, where do you see yourself? So
exactly.
My next question, which is a question that I'm just going to kind of throw in here, why do people struggle with being creative? We talk about going back to your childhood, remembering those fun times, and then using that in your business, using that in your career, visualizing yourself being at the top of your game, being at the head of your class, being at the head of your team. But many people struggle with that. So why do people struggle with being creative?
Well, I think a big one that you mentioned earlier is burnout. So when you're burned out, you can't see anything. You're in a box. You can't seem to get out of that. So that's really a big part of what keeps people from being creative. They're just exhausted. They can't even think beyond that. And also what I see a lot of is people accept the fact that in their mind something can't be done. So they already shut it down without realizing the sky is the limit. And I never take no for an answer. I just figure out a way to get yes out of it. So I think that people, they just accept where they are and they figure that it can't be done. And then they make certain assumptions about a situation just because it looks difficult. And you'll find in my working with the nonprofit, if the students say it can't be done, or Miss Nunn, they said I can't have this test on such and such date, and I go call. And so, you have to remove those roadblocks and the thought blocks that keep you from moving ahead. You definitely have to do that. And you got to keep the assumptions out. You have to be open to different options. And not all of us have the personality that is more intuitive and who would look at options. And so, if you come to the seminar, I'll be teaching some techniques on helping those individuals who don't tend to think outside the box and help them get out into the sandbox. There's an exercise that I try that I use in the classroom. I will take an apple and I'll ask people to tell me everything about the apple. Well, I'll get the one side of the group who talks about, what they see, what they feel, how it tastes. But then I'll get another side that thinks about possibilities. Johnny Appleseed, New York City, apple pie. And so those are folks that have opened their minds to be creative. So the key is to get that other group over to the other side. So
I love it.
So that's how to get you started.
I
kick
love
that
it,
and why
Priscilla.
people don't do it.
That's what the Riot Starter Symposium is all about, is to get people to move beyond those limiting beliefs. The riot, people say, well, how did you come up with the name Riot Starter? The riot is whenever you want to do better, be better, grow better, be creative, be innovative. Someone is always telling you that you can't, you shouldn't, not you, not now, not ever. And so you feel like you're in a riot, but you have to fight what I call the gremlins from the outside, and then also the gremlins from the inside. So that's a big, I think, another reason why people struggle with being creative, because of those gremlins. Wow, I'm excited about hearing you in February. And the last question I have for you, Priscilla, is, how would people master creativity and innovation to stay relevant in their business and their career? How do you master creativity and innovation to stay relevant in your business and your career? We're going to have an audience of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs and students and, people who are really just that are interested in professional development and wanting to stay relevant. So how do you explain to them how to use creativity and innovation to do that?
To stay relevant? Well, here's a couple of things that they can do. One of them is, and people figure they have no time to do this, is read. Mm-hmm. And not read nonfiction, but read fiction. Find somebody that they like that'll make them smile. And so now all of a sudden you're opening your mind up to possibilities. And with that, you start thinking about things other than what's happening in your life, because you're living another person's life when you read fiction. And then I encourage people to look at businesses that have some similarities to their business. And a lot of things that I do, I actually go outside the U.S. So if somebody has a business idea, or if I see a problem in front of me, I tend to look at other countries and see how they are addressing certain problems. And with that, looking at other countries, then you start looking and saying, wow, there's a business opportunity in this country, based on what I'm learning about it, based on how they are addressing a problem that I'm trying to provide a service for. And so I think that's how, the relevancy will happen for them, is go outside themselves, go outside their business, because it's so easy not to go outside. It's so easy not to take the time to chuckle, to read a fiction, and find something really funny about what's going on. And so in order to want to gather more information, you got to open your mind up so you can receive that more information.
Oh, I love that. That is, read more fiction. Read more fiction to open up, to expand your mind to the possibilities. I love that, Priscilla. I love that. And guys, this is why you need to go ahead and get your ticket right now. Right now, go to theriotStarter.com and get your ticket to the symposium February 5th, 2016 in Atlanta, so that you can hear Priscilla and the entire panel provide you with a great way to start your new year. And what better way to start your new year than by being creative and innovative? I love it. I love it. So, Priscilla, Just like the presenters before you, I think Chi-Chi and Oliver, they had a special gift for our listeners. And I know you've got something special just for those listening tonight for taking the time out to join us on this call. So tell them what you have for them.
Okay. What I have for everyone that signs up tonight is a 30-minute consult to help you kickstart your creative self. So that's going to be a one-on-one conversation between you and I, and I'll provide some tools to help you beyond what you will learn in the workshop, and then we can have one-on-one discussions, and I can help you figure out where you're stuck and how can we get you from that stuck position.
Wow, that is amazing. So you got this preview call with Priscilla tonight, and you will also get an opportunity to have a consultation with Priscilla. Priscilla, what's that value of that consultation?
Well, I think in the classroom, I'm going to be talking in the symposium, I'll be talking general, and I'll be giving out some tools, but the tools may not fit because I can't give out everything in that short period of time. So it may not fit what's going on in an individual's life. And so the 30-minute consult will help me to understand, what's going on with them, what's the roadblocks, what is it they're trying to achieve. And so I think that's going to be beneficial for individuals who want to start a riot.
I love it, Priscilla. And you know what? I am in the giving mood. My birthday is next Tuesday. And
cool.
So
happy birthday.
On top of Priscilla's special offer for you, if you go to theriotStarter.com right now and grab your ticket, I will let everyone who's listening to the call tonight register at the past participant rate of $69. So that's a $30 savings on the event. So go ahead and grab your ticket tonight because that opportunity will end very soon. So Priscilla, what do you want the takeaway to be for tonight for our listeners? They're listening and they only get one thing out of hearing you speak tonight. What do you want that one thing to be?
I want them to have fun finding their creative self. That's where the fiction comes in. That's with the playing with your kids and playing with the games. I want them to have fun.
Well, you heard it right there from the queen of innovation and creativity. Go out and play in the sandbox, grab a fictional book, and register for the 2016 Riot Starter Symposium. Priscilla, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, everybody, for being on the call with us tonight. And